This is his first official visit to the airport since he took office. We have met him before. The first time I think he officially landed on the runway out there was a cold, blustery Friday evening, and his first official trip as Taoiseach to Brussels some months ago. So we're delighted to have him here today on Taoiseach Enda Kenny.
Thank you very much. Fairly public representatives, ladies and gentlemen. A number of years ago, a woman wrote to me and said I was going to England from Knock with Ryanair, and when I was at the airport, I got word that a relation of mine had died and I had to go back home. She said I can't get a refund off Ryanair. So I wrote to the chief executive, Michael O'Leary. So this woman is in trouble and she needs a refund. I was driving down Thomas Street. I couldn't pull in, but the phone rang. Michael O'Leary, he said, we don't give refunds, but I'll tell you what you do. Ring her up and tell her she can fly for free the next time. Now, I'd like to say this. It's a pleasure to be here in Knock Airport for this announcement. Barcelona, Milan, Frankfurt and Paris. How long have we listened to the complaint? If only we could get people in here. If only we had people passing through, that we'd show them what we can do in the context of quality tourism experience. Think of all the places you've been yourselves over the last 20 years on holidays. Think of the places around the world that have gone out of your mind completely because you can't remember anything about them. Not because you weren't able to think, but because they just passed by as another place. The reason that Irish quality experience lasts with people who come here is because of the interaction with our people. Now you're challenged in the northwest and the west because there are going to be 725,000 people passing through this airport next year, 40,000 new people coming from Barcelona, Milan, Frankfurt and Paris. And every one of those deserves to be treated as a VIP in this region because they are the brand representatives of why others should come and spend their money and their time in this area here. So tourism itself is now challenged by virtue of the fact that we know that these routes are going to bring extra people into this region. So whether it be walkers or cyclists or pony trekking or swimmers or people who want to go to the pub for an odd one here or there or whatever, to involve themselves in the cultural and outdoor activities and everything else in this part of Ireland, you now have the challenge and the resource to live up to it. I know, because when I was in the Department of Tourism myself years ago, we did all these tourism diaries about impact of region. It's not just about sea or wind or water or cliffs or mountains. It is about those and their interaction with our people and their visitors. And the trick is, whether you're in Donegal now, or Galway, or Leitrim, or Roscommon, or Sligo, or Mayo, when they're stuck in the traffic jam on Brooklyn Bridge, that they should be able to say, wouldn't it be great to be in some place or other? And if they're German, or Italian, or French, or Spanish, they love other Celtic countries with the Celtic roots. And you make the impression, and they will tell others to come back. Now, Michael O'Leary is one of the largest airline operators in the world. I hear his words about shifting emphasis and getting people onto the island of Ireland. Believe you me, we're working in that area. Because we have most of the infrastructure that we need. Most of it, not all of it. But for 2012, this day here in Knock Airport, you now have a challenge to rise to this. Okay, government are going to give some funding, obviously, out of the marketing fund and resources to Knock to do its business along with Tourism Ireland. And I commend Tourism Ireland and Knock for their cooperation with Ryanair in this regard. But these things are important, that there be quality impact. I was in Frankfurt the other night myself, arising from the tail end of a meeting in Berlin, and it's quite obvious that there is clearly potential. Because they say to me directly, I'm going to go. In fact, the German minister who was there at the occasion that I attended spends a week every year on the Shannon on his boat and says it's the best river in the world for this kind of thing. So others can now have the opportunity to travel to unknown places in the west of Ireland, but the people there who are spending their money on tourism have got to rise to this challenge. Make no mistake about it, one bad experience is related 1,000 times. A good experience is what we need for everybody. So that's your challenge. I'm glad to be here. This is a very important infrastructure entity for this entire region. You know that. It's got its capacity for major jets. You now have an added advantage in that the great travelling people of Italy, of France, of Spain, and of Germany who want to travel to different places to meet new peoples will be welcomed back to a place where they have the same Celtic roots. So when they arrive, make sure that you can tell them that another Ryanair flight landed on time up here and that they're welcome to this part of the country, and you're going to give them a quality tourism experience that they will talk about, that they will tell others to avail of and to participate in, and that their children after them will come back to a place that has enormous potential in this regard. Thanks very much. It's my privilege to be here with you. I was going to say that I was in Belfast the other night and I had to put on the old dicky bow, and I was trying to get the studs into the shirt here. I was looking at the wall, and on the picture on the wall was of Thomas Andrews. And Thomas Andrews was the designer of the Titanic. And I was going to say, well, this is my maiden voyage to Belfast. I hope it doesn't end up like the other one. But this is not actually my maiden voyage here to Knock. I've been here on so many occasions. And fair play to you, Mr. Scollin. You came out at 3 o'clock in the morning when I came back from Brussels. There were 2 inches of snow on the runway. You had it cleared. Some of the onlookers were in very good shape at that hour of the morning. But it was a midnight entry to Knock. Thanks very much, everybody. Appreciate it.